They will fear humanity, and that fear is ours to use. Emma Taylor nodded. We are not invincible, but we are strong, and today, we proved it. Jack Lee guided more civilians to safety. His face was calm, but his eyes showed focus. Every movement mattered. Every action protected lives. Alex and his squad felt something new. Pride. Hope. Determination. The super soldiers had shown humanity's true strength, and now everyone who survived the battle knew what it meant to fight alongside them. The alien forces had retreated into space. Their commander had fled. Their soldiers had scattered. The first wave of the war had been destroyed. Humanity had won a battle that would be remembered for generations. The legend of the super soldiers had begun. Their names, deeds, and courage would spread across the galaxy. Aliens would whisper their names in fear. Humans would tell their stories in hope. Captain Ross, Emma Taylor, Jack Lee, Lisa Grant, Kate Hill, and the other super soldiers stood quietly in the central plaza. The city was calm. Civilians were safe. The battle was over. For now. Alex Morris looked at them and felt awe. With humans had done the impossible. The super soldiers had done what no one else could. They had changed the course of the war, and the galaxy would never see humanity the same way again. The sun shone over Harper Prime. Smoke rose slowly. Streets were empty of aliens. Civilians moved safely. The battle was over, and humanity had won. The super soldiers had proven their strength, skill, and courage. The galaxy would remember them, and their legend had only just begun. Harper Prime was alive, humanity had survived. And somewhere in the distance, Captain Daniel Ross and his unit prepared for the next fight, calm, precise, and unstoppable. Ready to defend their people and strike fear into the hearts of any who dared to challenge them. The galaxy had learned one thing. Humans were not weak.
I don't know, he said. They're not normal.
Nothing about them is normal. The aliens tried to regroup. Their commander bellowed orders, but his soldiers were faltering. Panic was spreading faster than the soldiers could control. One alien unit ran from the street, and then another. The discipline lines were breaking. In the chaos, Jack Lee appeared, carrying more civilians. He moved through fire and rubble, calm as if nothing could touch him. He threw down a smoke grenade, covering the retreat of a family trapped in a broken building. Alex felt his chest tighten. He had never seen anyone move like that. On the other side, Emma and her squad destroyed a group of alien command posts. Explosives went off, shaking the ground and destroying weapons. The aliens tried to fight back, but every time they aimed at the humans, they were met with impossible speed and accuracy. Eric Turner, watching from behind the walls, noticed something else. The super soldiers were not just strong. They seemed to predict the enemy's movements. Every attack was met with a perfect counter. Every step was calculated. It was as if they could see the future for a moment. They are not just soldiers, Eric whispered. There's something more. The alien commander, frustrated, slammed his weapon on the ground. He called for reinforcements from above. Dropships descended, carrying more troops. The ground shook under their landing. Alien officers barked orders, trying to organize a counterattack. Captain Ross smiled under his helmet. Let them come, he said. We are ready. The super soldiers moved like shadows through the city. They took positions on rooftops, in alleys, behind walls. Each move was precise. Each shot counted. In minutes, the alien line began to crumble. Alex and his squad followed at a safe distance. He could not keep his eyes off the super soldiers. Their presence changed everything. Aliens flee in terror as humanity's super soldier unit joins the fight. The stars above the colony world of Harper Prime were calm and bright, but the ground below was full of fear. The sky had been blue only hours before. Now it was dark with smoke and fire. Alien ships moved like black shadows across the clouds, their shapes long and sharp, their lights cold and cruel. People ran through the streets. Families held each other. Soldiers took positions behind broken walls and damaged vehicles. The sound of explosions rolled across the city like thunder that never ended. This was not the first time humanity had faced aliens, but it was the first time they faced this kind of enemy. The attackers were from a powerful empire known among the stars for conquest. They had long ships and heavy weapons. They believed no world could stand against them for long. They had crushed many races before, and now they had come for a human colony. On the ground, a human defense line tried to hold. The soldiers were brave, but they were tired. They had been fighting for 2 days without rest. Their rifles burned hot in their hands. Their armor was scratched and broken in many places. Sergeant Alex Morris lay behind a low wall with his squad. Dust covered his face. Sweat ran into his eyes. He looked at the sky and then back at his team. Near him was John Carter, a young soldier with a calm face and steady hands. Next to John was Kate Hill, who checked her weapon again and again, making sure it would not fail. A little further was Lisa Grant, who helped a wounded man breathe and tried to keep him awake. Behind them, Eric Turner watched the street, his eyes sharp for any movement. The aliens moved forward in heavy armor, their bodies tall and wide, their skin dark and hard like stone. Their weapons sent blue fire that melted metal and burned through concrete. Every time one of those weapons fired, another part of the city vanished. Alex spoke in a low voice. "Hold the line. Do not let them reach the shelter zone." The shelter zone was where thousands of civilians hid underground. If the aliens reached it, there would be no mercy. The squad opened fire. Red human laser beams struck the alien front ranks. Some aliens fell, but many kept coming. They moved with slow, heavy steps, as if they did not care about pain. An explosion hit the wall near them. Stone flew into the air. Kate was thrown back, but she rolled and stood again, her face tight with anger. "They just keep coming," she said. John answered, "We keep shooting." But even as he spoke, a shadow passed over the street. An alien dropship moved down, lowering more troops. The sound of its engines was deep and loud, like the growl of a giant beast. Alex felt a heavy weight in his chest. They were being pushed back. Little by little, the line was breaking, far above the battle. In orbit, Human Command watched the fight. Screens showed burning cities and falling defense lines. Officers spoke in tense voices. Losses were high. Time was running out. Admiral Ryan Stone stood in the command room, his hands behind his back. His face was hard, but his eyes showed worry. He listened to the reports and then looked at a single screen that showed a sealed hangar deep inside a military station. Inside that hangar, something waited. For years, humanity had worked on a secret project. It was not just new weapons or new ships. It was a new kind of soldier, stronger, faster, trained beyond normal limits, changed by science and discipline. There were not many, but each one was meant to be worth a whole unit. They were called the Super Soldier Unit. Until now, they had never been used in open war. Some leaders had feared what would happen if they were seen. Others had feared what would happen if they were not. Admiral Stone took a deep breath. "Prepare the unit," he said. Back on Harper Prime, the fight grew worse. Alien walkers moved into the streets, their legs crushing cars and walls. Their cannons turned buildings into fire and dust. Human tanks fired back, but many were destroyed in seconds. Alex's squad fell back to a new position. The wounded man Lisa had helped was taken by medics, but many others lay still on the ground, their armor broken, their faces quiet. Eric pointed down the street. "More coming!" A new wave of aliens advanced, moving in tight lines, their weapons raised. Their commander, a tall figure with shining armor, lifted an arm and gave a signal. The air filled with blue light and deadly sound. Alex knew they could not hold much longer. Then, in the middle of the noise and fire, something strange happened. The alien weapons stopped for a moment, not because they had run out of power, but because their users hesitated. A new sound came from the sky, not the deep growl of alien engines, but a sharp, cutting roar. Fast, strong, controlled. Several small human ships broke through the clouds. They moved in perfect formation. Their shapes were smooth and dark without bright lights. They did not fly like normal transport craft. They flew like arrows. Alien gunners turned their weapons upward and fired, but the ships moved too fast. They slipped between the beams and came down toward the city. Alex stared. "What are those?" John shook his head. "Never seen them before." The ships did not land in the open. They dropped into narrow streets and open squares, touching down for only a few seconds. Their doors opened and figures jumped out. At first they looked like normal soldiers. They wore human armor, dark and simple, without heavy marks. But then they moved. They ran faster than any human Alex had ever seen. They leaped over broken walls and burning wrecks with easy strength. Their movements were smooth, exact, without wasted motion. One of them landed near Alex's position. The ground shook slightly under his boots. He stood tall and straight. His helmet was closed, but his voice came clear through the squad channel. "This is Captain Daniel Ross. Super Soldier Unit has arrived. Hold your positions." Alex felt a strange mix of relief and confusion. He had heard rumors of special troops, but he had never believed them. Now one stood before him. More of them appeared, moving through the smoke like dark shapes. Men and women, all in the same armor, all with the same calm, focused posture. A woman stopped near Kate and Lisa. Her voice was steady and quiet. "I am Emma Taylor. We will take the front. You cover our sides." Kate blinked. "Just like that?" Emma nodded. "Just like that." The super soldiers moved forward together. Not in a rush, not in panic. They walked into the open street where the alien line waited. Alien weapons fired again, blue light flashing. The beams struck the super soldiers, but their armor held. Some beams were avoided with quick steps and turns that seemed almost impossible. Then the humans returned fire. Their weapons were not like standard rifles. The shots were brighter, stronger, and more focused. When they hit alien armor, they burned through it. When they struck alien bodies, they dropped them in a single shot. One super soldier ran straight toward an alien walker. He moved between its legs, placed a device, and jumped away. A second later, the walker fell in pieces, its metal body torn apart. Alex watched in silence. He had seen many battles, but never anything like this. John whispered, "They are not normal."
"No," one answered him, because everyone was thinking the same thing.
The alien commander saw the change. He raised his weapon and pointed at the new humans. His voice, rough and loud, carried across the battlefield as he gave orders in his own language. The aliens focused their fire on the super soldiers. The humans did not slow. Captain Ross moved at the front. He raised his hand and the unit spread out in perfect order. Some went left, some right, some straight ahead. They moved like parts of one mind. Emma led a small group into a ruined building. Seconds later, explosions came from inside, and the alien firing positions there went silent. Another soldier, a man with the name Jack Lee on his armor, picked up a wounded human and carried him to safety. While still firing with one hand, Alex felt hope rise in his chest, slow and strong. For the first time since the attack began, the alien advance stopped. On the alien side, fear began to grow. They had faced many enemies before. They had never seen soldiers who moved like this, who fought like this, who walked through fire without hesitation. Reports went back through their ranks. The humans had something new, something dangerous, and this was only the beginning. The city of Harper Prime shook under the sounds of battle. Alien ships circled above, scanning the streets with cold lights. The human defenders were exhausted. Their rifles overheated. Their armor was battered and scorched. Still, they tried to hold positions. Behind a crumbled wall, Sergeant Alex Morris watched the super soldiers move through the smoke. Captain Daniel Ross and his unit were faster and stronger than anything Alex had seen. Every move was precise, every shot accurate. They moved like a single body, thinking and acting together.
"Look at them," Alex whispered to John Carter.
"They're not just soldiers. There's something else." John nodded. "I've never seen humans like this. I don't even know if I can keep up with them." The super soldiers advanced carefully. They did not run. They did not panic. Their steps were confident, controlled. They moved in small squads. Emma Taylor led one group. Jack Lee led another. Humans were strong, clever, and fearless. And with the super soldiers leading the fight, nothing could stand against them for long. Today, humanity had won. Tomorrow, the legend would continue. Each soldier knew exactly where to go, what to do, and how to fight. Alex's squad moved behind them, trying to stay close but not in the way. The aliens noticed the new humans immediately. Whispers ran through their ranks. Fear spread slowly at first, like cold water over their armor. The alien commander raised a hand and shouted. His voice carried over the battlefield. He called for heavy fire. Blue beams cut through the air. Explosions tore through the streets. But the super soldiers moved too fast. They dodged, ducked, rolled, and shot back with weapons that burned through alien armor. One super soldier leaped onto a tall building and fired down into the alien line. The aliens fell back. Another ran through the street carrying a wounded civilian. He shot aliens with one hand and supported the man with the other. He's human, a young alien said, staring at the soldier. How can one human do this? It's impossible, another answered, shaking. We cannot fight them. Alex saw the fear in the eyes of the regular human soldiers, too. It was strange. Normally, seeing aliens would make humans nervous. Now, they felt hope. Hope that maybe, just maybe, they could survive.
Hold steady, Captain Ross, said into his communicator.
We take the left flank. Emma, cover the right. Jack, support civilians. Move. The squad split with perfect timing. Each member knew their role. Alex noticed that even under heavy fire, the super soldiers never hesitated. Bullets, laser beams, and fire all moved around them like water. Nothing stopped them. In one open street, a group of aliens aimed at Emma Taylor. She raised her weapon and fired. The shot hit perfectly, destroying the alien's armor and sending it flying. Another alien tried to strike her with a blade, but she moved faster than he expected, and he fell to the ground before he could react. How is she doing that? Alex muttered. John shook his head. Before, the humans had fought only to survive. Now, they fought to win. The aliens were not used to defeat. They had always believed in their power. Now, fear filled their ranks. Some soldiers froze, unsure what to do. Others tried to fight, but the humans were everywhere at once, impossible to pin down. In a ruined square, Lisa Grant fired at approaching aliens while helping civilians move to safety. Suddenly, a super soldier jumped in front of her, taking down a group of aliens in seconds. Then he turned and signaled her forward. Together, they cleared the street. Thank you, Lisa said. Stay behind me if you can, the soldier replied calmly. We move fast, but we do not stop. More super soldiers appeared from every direction. They moved in perfect formation, surrounding groups of aliens and forcing them to surrender or flee. The aliens tried to fight back with their energy weapons, but they were too slow, too clumsy, too afraid. Alex saw the alien commander watching from a high tower. The man's face was pale under his armor. Fear was clear in his eyes. He had underestimated humans. He had not believed the rumors now. The rumors were real, and they were worse than anyone could imagine. In the streets, the humans cheered quietly as they saw the super soldiers push the enemy back. Tanks that had been damaged were repaired quickly by teams led by the new soldiers. Civilians were rescued. Buildings were secured. Every action seemed small, but together it made a huge difference. The aliens tried to regroup in the city center. Their weapons fired wildly, but the super soldiers were everywhere. Captain Ross signaled his team, and the soldiers split to cut off the alien escape routes. Speed and precision made it impossible for the aliens to escape.
Look at them, Kate, Hill said to Alex.
They are like a storm.
Yes, Alex said.
And the storm is on our side. By now, the aliens were retreating. Panic spread faster than the super soldiers could move. Orders shouted in their language were ignored. Soldiers ran for cover. Command posts were abandoned. The humans held the city like a net, closing slowly, perfectly, without missing a step. Jack Lee continued to save civilians, moving through fire and debris. Eric helped guide people out of damaged buildings. Lisa and Kate moved together to protect a group of children trapped in a building. Alex and John covered the flanks everywhere the super soldiers went. Humans followed, inspired and strengthened by what they saw. Morale rose. Hope returned. The feeling of being crushed vanished. Now, the humans were not just fighting to survive. They were fighting to win. The alien commander realized defeat was coming. His best units were gone, destroyed by humans he had thought were weak. His lines were broken. Soldiers abandoned weapons and ran. Fear had turned to terror. From the rooftops, Captain Ross and Emma signaled to each other. More super soldiers moved through streets, securing positions. Jack and Lisa moved to block the last remaining alien escape routes. The city that had been on the brink of falling was now almost safe. Alex looked around. The battle had changed in minutes. Humans were alive, moving, fighting with courage. The super soldiers had arrived and everything had shifted. He realized that the legends he had heard were true. These soldiers were unlike anything he had ever imagined. The alien ships above hovered, confused and hesitant. They had not expected humans to fight like this. They had not expected super soldiers. Hesitation in the enemy gave the humans the chance to strike again. Captain Ross stood in the center of a destroyed street, watching the retreating aliens. "Hold your positions," he said quietly into the communicator. "They will come back. They always do. But we will be ready." Emma moved beside him. "They already fear us," she said. "That is the first step to winning." Jack Lee returned carrying another group of civilians. He nodded to Ross. "They see us, and they run. Fear is our advantage." Alex and his squad watched silently. They were still human. They were not super soldiers. But they had seen enough to know one truth. Humanity had a new weapon. Not a machine, not a ship, not a planet's defenses. A new weapon, living and moving, unstoppable and fearless. And as the city slowly settled from the chaos, the humans who survived knew something new. The aliens would think twice before returning. Humanity had shown strength beyond their imagination. And it was only the beginning. The streets were quiet for a moment. Smoke rose into the sky. Shattered buildings stood like monuments to the battle. And through it all, the super soldiers moved quietly, ready for the next wave. Calm, unstoppable, and more dangerous than anything the galaxy had ever seen. The alien forces were retreating. But the city of Harper Prime was far from safe. Streets were full of debris, fires burned in buildings, and the smoke made the air hard to breathe. Humans moved carefully, checking corners and alleys. Alex Morris and his squad followed the super soldiers closely. Every step they took seemed to make the city feel safer. Captain Daniel Ross led his team through the ruined streets. His movements were smooth, controlled, like a predator in calm focus. Emma Taylor stayed close, her eyes scanning the sky and the ground at the same time. Jack Lee helped civilians as they moved to secure areas. Every super soldier had a role, and every role was perfect.
"We need to push forward," Ross said quietly into his communicator.
"They will try to regroup. We cannot let them recover." The aliens were disorganized. Some units had scattered, others had abandoned their weapons. Still, there were pockets of resistance. Alien squads hid in buildings, waiting to ambush anyone who came too close. Some set traps. Others fired blindly into streets, hoping to hit something. Alex crouched behind a broken wall with John Carter. "Do you think we can keep up?" he asked. John looked at the super soldiers moving ahead. "We can try," he said, "but they are not normal. It's like they are everywhere at once." Lisa Grant and Kate Hill moved through another street helping civilians out of danger. Lisa had never felt so alive and terrified at the same time. Every time she saw a super soldier, she felt hope. Every time she saw an alien, fear returned. The mixture made her chest tight. Eric Turner was with them. He held his rifle tightly, ready for anything. He had seen the super soldiers take down groups of aliens faster than he could follow with his eyes. Now he tried to mimic their movements, but even moving fast, He knew he was slower than they were. In the center of the city, a group of aliens had taken over a small plaza. They set up heavy weapons and aimed at the approaching humans. Captain Ross signaled his team. Emma and Jack moved on opposite sides, flanking the enemy. The soldiers on the ground opened fire carefully, drawing attention. Then Ross moved forward alone. His steps were calm, his weapon aimed steadily. In moments he was in the middle of the alien line. Shots hit him, but his armor held. He fired back with perfect aim, taking down enemies before they could react. In seconds, the alien line was broken. The survivors ran or surrendered. Alex watched in awe. "They are like a force of nature," he said. John nodded silently. More super soldiers moved into the area. Lisa and Kate covered civilians while the soldiers cleared the plaza. Jack Lee carried several wounded people to safety, firing at aliens who tried to stop him. Eric moved with him, supporting and watching for attacks. In another part of the city, Emma Taylor led a small team into a damaged building. Inside, a group of aliens had set up an energy cannon aimed at the street. Emma and her soldiers moved quickly, avoiding traps and dodging fire. She placed a charge near the cannon, and in moments it exploded, destroying the weapon and several aliens inside. The aliens began to panic. Fear spread faster than the humans could see. Their commander, watching from a tower, slammed his fists in frustration. He called for reinforcements, but communication lines were failing. He did not know what to do next. Back on the streets, Alex's squad moved carefully. Every corner could hold danger. He felt the super soldiers' presence like a shield. Wherever they went, the aliens seemed to hesitate. Fear and the enemy gave the humans an advantage. "Look over there," Kate said, pointing. A group of alien soldiers tried to escape through a narrow alley. Jack Lee ran after them, moving faster than any normal human could. In seconds, the aliens were surrounded. Surrender was their only choice. "They are not just fast," Lisa said quietly. "They can think faster than us, too." Eric nodded. "It's like they know what the aliens will do before they do it." The super soldiers advanced slowly but with purpose. They moved in perfect formation, cutting off escape routes and securing streets. Civilians followed, guided by regular soldiers like Alex, John, Lisa, Kate, and Eric. Together they created a moving network of safety and firepower. In the city square, a wounded human child cried. Jack Lee ran to him, scooped him up, and carried him to safety without slowing. The child's mother ran after them, tears in her eyes. She looked at the super soldiers and felt hope for the first time that day. "Thank you," she whispered. Jack nodded, his face calm and serious. "Stay behind us," he said. "We will keep you safe." In another street, Emma Taylor and her team spotted a group of aliens trying to regroup. The soldiers moved silently, taking positions on rooftops. In a coordinated attack, they fired. The aliens had no chance. Some fell immediately. Others tried to flee but were trapped. Fear had paralyzed them. Alex saw the alien commander again, standing high above the city. His face was pale under the helmet. Fear was clear in his eyes. He realized he had underestimated humans. The super soldiers were beyond anything he had imagined. He had trained his soldiers to fight, to win, but now his soldiers were running in terror. "They are everywhere," one alien whispered to another. "We cannot stop them." "We have to hold them," another said, but even as he spoke, his knees shook and he fell. The super soldiers did not pause. They moved through every street, clearing buildings, destroying weapons, and taking down leaders. Each move was precise. Every action was calculated. The aliens could not match their speed, strength, or skill. Alex felt a strange feeling in his chest. Pride, hope, fear, and awe mixed together. Humanity had sent its best, and now the city was changing because of them. "Look at them," John whispered. "We are alive because of them." In the ruins of a tall building, Emma Taylor crouched with a small group of super soldiers. They watched the streets carefully. Another group of aliens had hidden, trying to ambush humans who were moving through the city. Emma signaled. Her team spread silently. In moments, the ambush was destroyed before it could even start. "We are not done yet," Captain Ross said through the communicator. "Every street, every building, every hiding place, clear them all. They will not regroup." The aliens tried to fight back, but every attack failed. Bullets, energy blasts, and explosions did not stop the super soldiers. They moved like ghosts, unstoppable and calm, always one step ahead. Alex and his squad followed as best they could. They moved through destroyed streets, helping civilians, firing at hiding aliens, and supporting the super soldiers. They were humans, but they felt stronger and braver with the super soldiers beside them. In one alley, Jack Lee threw a small explosive, destroying a group of aliens hiding behind a wall. The blast cleared the area, allowing civilians to escape. Lisa Grant and Kate Hill guided the people out while shooting at any aliens who tried to stop them. Eric supported them with covering fire. The aliens' fear spread. Units that had tried to hold positions abandoned them. Command posts were destroyed or deserted. Soldiers ran blindly, unsure where to go. Some tried to regroup with their commander, but he was isolated and could not reach them all. Alex watched Captain Ross move down the main street. The super soldiers were everywhere. Civilians were being rescued. The enemy was fleeing. He felt a sense of awe. Humanity had never had soldiers like this before. "They are unstoppable," John said quietly. "They are human," Alex replied. "But more. Stronger, faster, smarter. They are our hope." The alien commander watched from his tower. He realized the fight was lost. His forces were broken. His soldiers were terrified. He had underestimated humans, and now the price was clear. On the rooftops, Emma Taylor signaled to her team. Another building was cleared. Another group of aliens surrendered. Jack Lee moved more civilians to safety. Captain Ross coordinated every move. The city slowly began to calm. Smoke still rose, but the streets were under human control. Humans had won the first wave, thanks to the super soldiers. Civilians cheered quietly, some crying with relief. Alex and his squad gathered near Captain Ross. He could not find words. He had seen legends and stories, but this was real. The super soldiers were beyond legend. They were humanity's new power. "We have control for now," Ross said. "They will come back. Always. But today, we have shown them what humans are capable of." Emma Taylor nodded. "Fear is our ally. The enemy cannot fight if they are terrified." Jack Lee returned with the last group of civilians.
They see us and they run,
He said simply. "That is enough for now." Alex watched them all move. Humans, civilians, and super soldiers together. The city had survived, but the war was not over. Still, he knew one truth. Humanity had a force that could change the galaxy. A force the aliens would fear. The sun began to rise through smoke and dust. Its light shone on broken streets, destroyed buildings, and brave humans. The city of Harper Prime was scarred, but alive. And humanity's super soldiers had proven their power. The aliens would think twice before returning. The humans would fight, and somewhere in the shadows, Captain Daniel Ross and his unit prepared for the next battle. The war was only beginning, but the tide had turned. Humanity had shown that with courage, skill, and determination, even the greatest enemies could be defeated, and the super soldiers had become the symbol of that hope. The city of Harper Prime was quiet, but not for long. Smoke rose from broken buildings, and the air smelled of burned metal and ash. Humans moved carefully, helping civilians, repairing defenses, and searching for hidden aliens. The super soldiers were everywhere, their presence changing the battlefield. Captain Daniel Ross led his unit through the streets. Every movement was controlled. Every step was precise. Emma Taylor scanned rooftops, looking for threats. Jack Lee carried wounded civilians to safer areas, moving faster than any normal human could. Lisa Grant and Kate Hill protected children and families as they moved. Alex Morris and his squad followed, supporting wherever they were needed. The aliens were in chaos. The first wave of fear had turned into terror. Units that had once been disciplined were now scattered. Soldiers dropped their weapons and ran. Some tried to hide in buildings, but the super soldiers found them. "They are everywhere," one alien whispered, shaking. "We cannot escape them." Another alien tried to fire a weapon, but his hands trembled so much that he missed completely. He looked around and saw more super soldiers approaching from the rooftops and streets. Panic grew faster than he could move. In the central plaza, Captain Ross and his team faced a large group of aliens trying to make a stand. The aliens fired energy weapons in every direction, but the super soldiers moved with impossible speed. Bullets and beams could not hit them. Every shot they fired was precise, destroying alien armor and weapons instantly. Emma Taylor leaped onto a building roof and fired down at an alien-heavy weapon. The explosion was perfect. The weapon was destroyed, and several aliens fell with it. She landed lightly on the ground and moved forward without slowing. "This is unreal," Alex whispered to John Carter. "I've never seen anything like this." John nodded. "They are like ghosts. Nothing can stop them." Jack Lee carried a group of civilians through a narrow alley. An alien ambush waited, but he did not hesitate. He threw a smoke grenade, covered the civilians, and fired at the aliens, taking them down before they could react. The civilians did not even scream. They only followed him, trusting him completely. Eric Turner covered the group, shooting at any aliens who tried to attack. He felt stronger and braver with the super soldiers nearby. Each move they made seemed impossible, but he also felt inspired. In another street, Lisa Grant and Kate Hill guided a family to safety. Suddenly, a group of aliens tried to trap them. Before they could react, Emma Taylor and her squad appeared. The aliens were surrounded. They surrendered immediately, terrified of the humans.
"They just give up so easily," Lisa whispered.
"I've never seen enemies like this." Kate shook her head. "Fear changes everything." "They are terrified of them." The aliens' commander tried to regain control. He sent orders to regroup, but the messages never reached most units. His soldiers ignored him, too afraid to fight. Some even attacked each other by mistake. The super soldiers had caused total confusion. Captain Ross and Emma Taylor moved down a main street. Explosions tore through abandoned alien weapons. Aliens tried to flee through side streets, but Jack Lee and his team blocked the paths. One by one, alien squads surrendered or were destroyed. Alex watched the scene in silence. Every time he saw a super soldier move, it was like watching something impossible. They were faster, stronger, and more precise than anything he had ever imagined. "We need to clear the northern sector," Ross said into his communicator. "Emergency civilians are trapped there." Emma nodded. "I will take the team. Jack, cover the flanks. The rest of you follow and support." The northern sector was full of destroyed buildings, fires, and hiding aliens. Civilians were trapped in collapsed structures and abandoned vehicles. The aliens had prepared traps, hoping to slow the super soldiers down. Emma and her team moved through the streets like shadows. They avoided traps, dodged fire, and cleared aliens in seconds. In one building, they found a group of civilians surrounded by alien soldiers. Lisa Grant and Kate Hill moved with them to rescue the people. In seconds, the aliens were gone. Jack Lee and Eric Turner secured the flanks. Any aliens trying to escape were intercepted immediately. The fear in the enemy was visible. They had never faced humans like this. Units that were once confident now trembled, unsure what to do next. Captain Ross signaled to the team. Super soldiers moved calmly through streets and alleys. The humans who survived the first wave felt hope. They had seen power beyond imagination. Ross spoke quietly into his communicator. "Hold your positions. They will come back, but today we have shown them what humans can do." Emma nodded. "They already fear us. That is the first step to victory." Jack Lee returned carrying another group of civilians. "They see us and they run. That is enough for now," he said. Alex watched the super soldiers move. Humans, civilians, and soldiers worked together. The city was secure. The aliens had been beaten back by fear, courage, and unmatched skill. The sun rose slowly through smoke and dust. Its light touched broken streets and brave humans. The city was scarred but alive. The super soldiers had proven their strength. The aliens would think twice before returning. The humans would fight. And somewhere in the shadows, Captain Daniel Ross and his unit prepared for the next battle. The war was far from over, but humanity had shown a new power, a force that the galaxy would fear, a force that could change everything. The super soldiers were unstoppable, calm, and precise. The aliens had learned one thing: humanity was not weak. Humanity had weapons beyond imagination, and they had soldiers who could not be defeated. The city slowly settled. Fires still burned, but streets were under human control. The surviving aliens were terrified. Panic and fear ruled them. Humanity had taken the first real step to victory, and the legend of the super soldiers had grown. Not the sun rose over Hopper Prime, turning smoke into orange light and casting long shadows over the ruined streets. The city was quiet for the first time since the attack began. Humans moved carefully, helping civilians, repairing buildings, and securing the area. The super soldiers were everywhere, calm and ready for any new threat. They moved as one, coordinated and unstoppable. Every corner was cleared. Every street was checked. The northern sector was secured quickly, with no losses among the super soldiers. Civilians cheered quietly as they were led to safety. "They are like gods," one human whispered, watching from a rooftop. Nothing can stop them. The aliens' terror continued to grow. Units that had tried to fight ran blindly through streets. Some fired at each other by mistake. Others abandoned their weapons and hid in buildings, only to be found moments later by the super soldiers. Fear was now the strongest weapon humans had. In the central plaza, Captain Ross stood with Emma Taylor and Jack Lee. Explosions echoed in the distance. Smoke covered the streets. They watched alien soldiers retreating in every direction. "This is only the beginning," Ross said quietly. "They will regroup, but we will be ready." Emma nodded. "Fear is our ally. They cannot fight if they are terrified. They already see us as unstoppable." Jack Lee returned carrying another group of civilians. "The streets are clear," he said. "Anyone trying to hide will be found." Alex and his squad moved forward with the super soldiers. They saw alien soldiers running in panic. Some fell in their haste, some dropped their weapons and begged for mercy. The super soldiers did not hesitate. They secured the city with calm precision. Eric Turner watched a group of aliens trying to regroup in a ruined building. Jack Lee and Emma Taylor surrounded them in seconds. The aliens surrendered immediately, trembling and terrified. "They are running from humans?" Alex asked, in disbelief. John Carter shook his head. "They are not just running. They are running from those humans. The super soldiers." The aliens' commander watched from a distant tower. He had underestimated humans. His army was broken. His best soldiers were destroyed. Those who remained were terrified. He realized he had no way to control them. Captain Ross moved through the streets coordinating the final clearing. Every building was checked. Every hiding alien was dealt with. Civilians were moved to safety. The city that had been on the brink of falling was now secured. Alex and his squad followed, helping wherever they could. They moved through streets carrying wounded, providing cover fire, and guiding people to safety. They were humans, but they felt stronger and braver with the super soldiers beside them.
In one alley, Lisa Grant and Kate Hill guided a family out of danger.
Aliens hiding in a ruined building tried to stop them, but Emma Taylor and her team appeared from above. The aliens surrendered immediately. Fear had completely taken over. Jack Lee carried a small child across the street, dodging falling debris. The child's mother followed, tears in her eyes. She looked at the super soldiers and felt hope for the first time that day. "Thank you," she whispered. Jack nodded. "Stay behind us. We will keep you safe." The alien forces were broken. Command posts were abandoned. Soldiers ran blindly through streets. Their fear was visible in every movement. Some tried to regroup but failed. The super soldiers had created total chaos, and the aliens could not fight back. Alex watched Captain Ross move down the main street. The super soldiers were everywhere. Civilians were being rescued. The enemy was fleeing. He felt a mix of pride, awe, and fear. Humanity had sent its best, and the city was changing because of them. "We cannot stop them," one alien whispered. "They are everywhere. We cannot win." Captain Ross and Emma Taylor moved through the central plaza. Explosions shook the streets. Aliens tried to flee, but Jack Lee blocked all escape routes. Surrender or death was the only choice left. Alex looked at the city. Smoke rose from burning buildings. Civilians moved safely. Captain Daniel Ross and his team moved through the streets, checking corners and ensuring no alien soldiers remained hidden. Emma Taylor scanned rooftops. Jack Lee guided civilians to safer zones. Lisa Grant and Kate Hill helped with evacuations, and Alex Morris and his squad followed, supporting wherever they were needed.
It's too quiet, John Carter said, watching the streets.
Almost like they are afraid to come out. Alex nodded. Fear is our ally. They won't fight if they are terrified. Alien forces had retreated, their lines were broken, their soldiers terrified. The alien commander had fled, leaving the remaining units scattered and leaderless. Rumors spread quickly among their ranks about the humans they had faced. Humans who moved faster, fought harder, and survived impossible attacks. Humans who seemed everywhere at once. In a ruined plaza, Jack Lee helped a group of civilians cross to safety. One young boy looked up at him wide-eyed. "Are they really humans?" he asked softly. Jack smiled lightly. "Yes, they are humans, stronger than you can imagine." Eric Turner covered the group as they moved, keeping his rifle ready. Even though the battle was ending, he felt tension in his chest. The super soldiers were calm, but he had learned that danger could appear at any moment. Alex and John followed Captain Ross as he surveyed the city. Explosions had stopped, but fires still burned. Buildings were broken, and smoke filled the air. Yet the streets were controlled, civilians were safe, and the remaining aliens were too afraid to resist. "They will regroup," Ross said quietly. "They always do. But now they know humanity is not weak. They know what we can do." Emma Taylor nodded. "They already fear us. That fear will spread to every corner of their empire. We have given humanity an advantage that cannot be measured in numbers alone." In another street, Lisa Grant and Kate Hill helped a group of civilians out of a collapsed building. One woman held her child tightly, tears streaming down her face. "Thank you," she whispered. "We thought we were done for." Kate smiled. "You are safe now. Follow us." The super soldiers moved through the city like shadows. They checked every alley, every building, every hiding place. Aliens who tried to escape were intercepted immediately. Surrender was often the only choice left. Fear ruled them completely. Alex watched them all, feeling a mix of awe and pride. The super soldiers were not just humans. They were something more. They were stronger, faster, smarter. They moved in perfect coordination, and nothing could stop them. "I have never seen anything like this," John whispered. "Me neither," Alex said. "They are not normal. They are humanity's greatest strength." From the towers above, the alien commander watched the city from a distance. His face was pale under his helmet. His soldiers were scattered, terrified, and defeated. He had underestimated humans. He had thought them weak, but now he knew the truth. Humanity had weapons he could not match, soldiers he could not defeat. The alien fleet in orbit had also withdrawn. Reports came in that every sector they had attacked had been broken by the humans and their super soldiers. Ships were destroyed, soldiers lost, and the remaining forces were in full retreat. Fear had spread like wildfire. The aliens would not return without careful planning, and even then they would hesitate. Back on the ground, Captain Ross gathered his team. "We have secured the city," he said quietly. "Civilians are safe. The aliens are in retreat, but this is only the beginning. The galaxy will know who humanity is, and we must be ready for whatever comes next."
Emma Taylor nodded.
"Today we showed them strength. Tomorrow we build on it." Jack Lee returned carrying another group of civilians. All clear for now, he said. Anyone hiding has been found. The city is safe. Alex Morris and his squad followed closely. They moved through streets with the super soldiers helping wherever they could. Even though they were normal humans, they felt stronger and braver with the super soldiers around them. The city had survived, and they had been part of it. In a ruined building, Lisa Grant and Kate Hill helped a family climb out. The father shook his head in disbelief. "How is this possible?" he asked. "How can humans do this?" Kate smiled gently. "We fight together. We protect each other. That is humanity's strength." The super soldiers moved quietly through the streets, scanning for any remaining threats. Their presence alone kept the aliens away. Even small units that remained hidden were too afraid to attack. Fear had become the humans' greatest weapon. Captain Ross and Emma Taylor watched from a high street. The city was mostly quiet now. Civilians moved safely, fires burned down slowly, and the remaining aliens were fleeing or surrendering. The humans had won the battle. They had survived the first wave of a war that could last for years. Alex watched them from below, feeling pride and awe. The super soldiers were legends in action. They were calm, precise, unstoppable. Humanity had shown strength beyond imagination, and the galaxy would remember it. "They are like gods," one civilian whispered. "Nothing can stop them," John Carter shook his head. "They are human, but more, stronger, faster, smarter. They are our hope." The alien commander retreated to his ship, shaking. He had lost soldiers, ships, and morale. The stories he would tell of humans would not be of weakness. He would tell of soldiers who moved like shadows, who fought with impossible strength, and who spread fear wherever they went. The legend of humanity's super soldiers would grow across the galaxy. Captain Ross gathered his unit in the central plaza. "Today we have protected lives," he said. "We have shown what humanity can do. We will prepare for the next battle, but for now, the city is safe. We have done our duty." Emma Taylor looked around. Fear is powerful. It can destroy armies before a fight even begins. We have used it wisely today. The aliens will not forget what they have seen. Jack Lee helped another group of civilians reach a safe zone. "They already fear us," he said simply, "and that is enough for now." Alex and his squad moved through the city, assisting wherever needed. They saw the relief on the faces of civilians. They saw hope returning to the streets. Humanity had survived. Humanity had won today. In the distance, the sun rose higher, turning smoke into light. Broken streets, destroyed buildings, and exhausted humans glowed in its warmth. Harper Prime was scarred, but alive. The super soldiers had proven their power. The aliens would think twice before returning. The humans had fought with courage, precision, and strength beyond imagination. They had shown what they could do when they fought together, and the galaxy would remember. Captain Ross and his unit moved quietly through the city. Every corner was checked, every threat eliminated. The surviving civilians moved safely to shelters. Fires burned down slowly. The streets were under human control. The super soldiers had turned terror into victory. Alex watched as a group of super soldiers moved across the plaza. Their movements were perfect, calm, and unstoppable. The humanity had a weapon no one could match. Not machines, not ships, not numbers. Humans themselves, trained and enhanced beyond normal limits, had become the greatest force in the galaxy. "We are ready for anything," Ross said. "The aliens will remember this day,"